Well, good morning. I only answer the disincarnated. I want to hear the incarnated now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to all of us. At first, I want to thank the direction of this Spirit Center, Marcio and Ivone. I want to thank Luciana for helping us on this translation. And I want to say that I'm very glad to be here with you today. I am from Brasília. I am a worker of the Federação Espírita do Distrito Federal. I work on the dissemination department, and I came to US to my sister's wedding. As both, where I thought, well, now that I'm here, I'm going to visit the Spirit Centers across the US, and I hope we have a good lecture today. At first, I want to tell you that I have no authority to speak about depression. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a physician, but I will share with you my experience as a depressive person through 27 years. So let's pray to Jesus so He may bless us and let us in peace. Depression is not a modern disease. It's very ancient. Because of this name, depression was created only on the 17th century and became more known around the 19th century with the work of Sigmund Freud. People used to think that depression is a modern disease. It isn't. We have a lot of stories of depressive people in the Bible. We have the case of Job, that in that suffering that he passed through, he made a typical state of depression. We have the King Saul too. In the nights of darkness, of sadness, he asking David to sing to him, so he could be a little more glad. We have too in the Bhagavad Gita, the sacred book of the Hinduism, in the talking of the disciple Arjuna with the master Krishna, a typical case of depressive people too. We're going to see Aristotle telling that Socrates and Plato, very often they used to be very melancholic. And then Aristotle imagined that in that state, Socrates and Plato, they could speak to the angels, the daimons or daimones. It was the Greek word to say good spirit or guardian angel. And I want to tell you that even depressives, we can go in this life very normally, and we may do a lot of good things too. Many sages, many geniuses of the humanity were depressive. We heard about the story of Michelangelo. Michelangelo used to be a depressive person. Ludwig van Beethoven, the great composer, at a certain age he became deaf. He has just finished the Pastoral Symphony, the number 6. And even so, even deaf, even feeding impossible loves for married women, he became very depressive, but even so, he gave a great contribution to humanity. The Symphony number 9, the best of them all, the most famous of Beethoven, it was written while he was completely deaf and depressive too. So I want to tell you that depression is not the end. It's a bad, yes. It's a disease, yes. But even so, we may do a lot of good things. William Shakespeare, the biggest dramaturg of every times, If you read their romances, they plays, you're going to see in his characters a lot of depressive characteristics, like Hamlet, like Lady Macbeth. So some people used to say that even William Shakespeare used to be a depressive person. Abraham Lincoln, one of the greatest men, the greatest president of the United States, was a typical depressive of bipolar depressive. He used it to pass through large times of depression and sometimes a great euphoria, times with so much energy when we used to speak a lot. Like Virginia Woolf, the great writer, his husband tells us that in the end of his life, she stayed about 3 or 4 days speaking, or non-stop speaking, for 3 or 4 days. Edgar Allan Poe and many other geniuses of humanity were depressive. In Brazil, we have the figure of Alberto Santos Dumont, one of the creationists of the airplane, like their brothers Wright. At the same time, almost the same time, they created the airplane. When he found out that his invention was being used in the first global war, then he came very upset, very sad, took a tie and took his life out. He suicided himself. We have so many cases of depressive people that were even brilliant. We told you about Job, Saul, Socrates and Plato, and many others. So even depressive, we may change our life and do good things for humankind. In the book, The Gospel According to the Spiritism, there's a phrase that's very important to us to understand in the case of depression. It says that God only allows the evil because He knows that from there we're going to take good things of the bad times. That's why He allows us to have bad times too, because we're going to learn a lot in the bad times, the hard times. That's why Divaldo Pereira Franco used to say that even San Francisco used to be a depressive too. In the middle of 13th century, he went to the Crusades. When he was young, he didn't start his mission yet. He was very young, had a beautiful voice, had good friends. He used to sing in the bars, in the parties. And then with his friends, he went to the war, to the crusade, the Second Crusade. Their biographers tell that he was put in jail in the war, lost a lot of weight, became very diseased, sick, and when the family could pay the rescue, he came to Assis, his town, and he spent 1 year in bed with depression. The biographers don't used to say he was depressive, but Divaldo Pereira Franco, in the speaking about Francisco de Assis, he says that Francisco de Assis had a 1 year depression. And that in this 1 year of depression, in that very dark night, he found out that his mission was not to come to sing in the bars or the parties, but he was a messenger of Christ. And he lived the gospel like no one else. So, depression is going to be a way that nature has to make us stop. Because we are always running, we are always stressed, we are worried all the time, and depression say, hey, stop. What are you doing of your life? What is your mission? What are your dreams, your childhood dreams that you've forgotten? What are you doing of yourself? The depression is going to be a medicine to cure our pride and to make us to go inside, to make to travel to the inner of ourselves, to do the self-discovery, which is the question 919 of the Spirit's books. Allan Kardec asks the Spiritists, what is the most efficacious way of man developing himself and resistant to the evil temptation? And Santo Agustin, Spirit, answers him. An ancient sage of humanity used to say, know yourself. It's very important we know ourselves, because we usually don't know. We work on the superficiality. We don't know what are the reasons that motivate us to do things. That's very important. Depression is going to help us very much to go inside, to do this travel that we are always scheduling to later, and to say, do now. So depression is going to help us to become more better, even better with time. I used to say that if we discover what depression is teaching us, we're going to do a great jump in our spiritual evolution. If we discover what is teaching us. Because God only allows the evil because He knows that from the evil we're going to learn a lot of good things. That's why depression is. But depression is not sadness. We need to know exactly what is depression. Sadness is a natural state of mind. When we lose a job, when we have a family, a dear family, who returns to the spiritual world, when we have problems, it's natural to be sad. We may only speak about depression when this sadness is for a long time, very intensive, very deep, and the person cannot go out from this, pass through. So it's okay. You help me, please. Without help, by herself. Then, because it's very usual today, the depressive states, and some physicians, at the first time they meet the patient, they do the medicines, the tranquilizants, the antidepressive medicines. It's okay, but there are some diseases that look like very much depression and are not depression. Like very strong anemia. No? Anemia. The lackness of iron. Yes. If you have a very strong anemia, you look like a depressive one, but you're not depressive. You just need iron. When you there's lack of vitamin B12, so you can look like a depressive and you are not. Or the disease like the problems of hormones T3 and T4 from thyroid. These hormones, when they are unbalanced, the person can become in a very similar state, looking like being depressive, and they are not. So the physician needs to ask to order some exams, blood exams and so, and then he will have a good material to do the correct diagnosis. But we used to say too that depression, it has two kinds of causes. And Vanderlei Soares de Oliveira, a Brazilian medium and speaker from Belo Horizonte, he used to say that we Spiritists, we are the worst patients of depression. Because we believe that everything is because of the Spiritists, and it's not this way. We forget that we are four kinds of realities: a bio, psycho, social and spiritual reality. So depression may have 4 of these causes. And we need to think about that too. There are organic causes of depression. We depressives, we are born with a different body. Our perispirit, the spiritus involutory, it prints on our genes, the information that we need in our body to go through that experience. So we are born with a different body. Researchers tell us that we have low levels of some neurotransmitters, like serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. These 3 of them are very known by the scientists now. And we have wonderful medicines, wonderful drugs to help us to go through the depression. Then we used to say, every Spiritist speaker says that we need to use the drugs. It's very important. Because our body is different. It's like someone who has high pressure and needs to have one daily drug, one daily medicine, one daily pill. What's the problem? Like diabetes, that you have every day taking drugs too, it's necessary. It's wonderful. Vanderlei Soares de Oliveira tells us that one friend of him, of his family, he said, Vanderlei, after I began to taking drugs, medicines, drugs, okay?
Yes.
My life changed. I was born again. But we spirits are very private. We are going to think, no, I'm Spiritist, I don't need medicine for depression. And that's very bad. That's exactly what the bad spirits want to tell us, to inflate our pride, to say, don't take drugs, you don't need it, and our life will be very miserable. Because taking the pills, we're going to improve our life very much. We have energy, disposition to do much well, do very good stuff that will help us to clean our past. Because the gospel says that it's the love who cures, who rubbers, who deletes the crowd of sins, the lot of sins. It's the love. The charity is the love in action, love in motion. So if you are depressive, you need to take drugs because you will feel very much better, and you will have a wonderful life, and you'll be able to do very good things in your life. It's going to be very useful. So take the medicines. I took for 11 years. And then some days before I came here, I was in Brasilia. I moved from my town. I was very sad. And I went to a psychiatrist. I want to take the medicines again. Because I don't want to be stopped. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be dismotivated. So I am using drugs again. And I feel very much better. So we have to remember too that we are in a body that were created. It was developing about living in the forests, hunting, running, fishing, swimming, climbing the trees. And today, in the modern life, we don't do exercises anymore. We have no physical activity. This is maybe a cause of depression too. Because the Gospels say to us, take care of the spirit and the body. And many spiritists don't have time to do work out, and they become sick because of this. We need the only como é que fala ginástica? The only workout we do is pulling the control, remote control, or opening the refrigerator that's all that we do. That's why we are depressed. Marcio yesterday has asked me, Nazareno, why is depression is so common in the days of the actuality nowadays? I said maybe it's because we don't do workout anymore. But he surfs. He has no depression. Surfing is very good for depression. Every sport is going to be very useful to help depression. Because when we are moving our body produces endorphins, and they make us feel very pleasant, very nice, very good health. We sleep better, and some research says that when somebody has a good exercise, frequently happen, we have 25% more of energy. Instead of being tired, no, we have more energy because the exercise is going to help us very much. So it's very important that we take care of our body according to the Spiritism. The second cause that I want to tell you are the social causes too. Employment, the problems of the nation, war. In Brazil we have many cases of corruption. It makes us very sad. Family problems. So depression may have external, exogenous causes too. We need to work on this too. And we have to tell you that there are many spiritual causes too. I'm not going to speak a lot about spiritual causes because you are in the Spirit Center, and here we studied very hard. We studied a lot. So you must know everything about obsession, spiritual obsession. But I want to tell you some things. There is only obsession because we are obsediable. Because it's not one spirit wants to hurt us that he can do. No, that wouldn't be fair. If it was so, no one could ever raise a church to build a spiritual center or on any kind of church, because the evil spirits, they will never let us do this. But they only influence. Eles influenciam?
They influence us,
yeah. Yeah, they only influence us if we allow it. And we offer the plug for the obsession. And the Spirit's book says that the plug for the obsession are our difficulties, our imperfections. Pride, selfishness, laziness, jealous, envy, all that bad things that we have. When we are thinking of that, we lower our vibratory standards, and we allow the influence of the bad spirits. So we allow them. So the best way to get off obsession, spiritual obsession, is to become better. Is to work on ourselves, to develop our moral sense, so we be away from the bad spirits. The intimate reform. Yeah, intimate reform. Changing, the moral changing, improvement. Chico Xavier used to say that it's much more better than hindering the flies, putting the flies away from the wound. It's better to treat the wound, to cure the wound that is attracting the flies. So we may have 200 spirits trying to hurt us, but if we are okay, if we are in good vibrations, if we are of good thoughts, thinking of good things, having good feelings, they will not reach us. Okay? So it's very important. We keep our vibration very high with feelings of love, charity, patience, humility, and so on. The best formula to help us on the spiritual obsession is changing ourselves. And the spirit centers may help very much. Normally they have some mediumnic meetings where the spirits, the bad spirits, are treated. They are the doctrinator.
Doctrinarian?
Doutrinador?
Doctrinator.
Yes?
Yeah, I can say
The doctrinator talk to them and they become much more better and they leave us alone. So Spirit Center may help us very much. With the passes, healing, it will be very good for the depression treatment. About the work on the good. The work on the good, trabalho no bem, is going to be very good because when you work helping people, you forget your problems. And you see that your problem is very little in front of the huge problems that people comes in the spirit centers. So it's very good because we forget about ourselves. Like Jesus has asked to renounce ourselves. It means that. Forget about your problems, look at the other. It will help very much. And I want to tell you today about the psychotherapy of gospel. Jesus was the best psychologist of every ages. Hannah Wolf, a very famous psychiatrist, she says that the gospel is a wonderful therapy. We're going to see that the gospel will help us very much to know about ourselves and to help us to go through the depression. So go ahead. Please. So I want to say that when I had depression, that is what I had, I went to a psychologist. It's a very good way to treat depression. I want to tell you that everyone should do psychotherapy. It's a very strong tool, it's a very good tool to know ourselves. And I learned a lot on that. My psychologist says, Nazareno, you have a problem. I said, what? You don't know to say no. And that was true. I have very unconscious, guilty feelings. That's why Adenauer Novaes, a speaker from Bahia, he used to say that people that do a lot of things, that don't know how to say no, that are always helping, sometimes they may have guilty feelings, even unconscious. And I had a lot. Then I wanted to help everyone. I want to please everyone. I wanted to be better than Jesus, because he couldn't please everyone. But at least my name, Nazareno, but I'm so far from Jesus. And then he told me, you need to know how to say no, because of you don't know how to say no, you accumulate a very lot of spendings. And at the time I was a lawyer, and everyone just said, no, do this for me. I said, okay. Do that for me. Okay, I do. And that, oh yes. Then a lot of pendings. And my psychologist said, no, when you go to your office, your brain registers you are unresponsible. You are incompetent. Incompetent. And that makes you feel very bad. And when you wake up in the morning and remember that you're going to see all that stuff, you become depressed. Because you didn't know how to say no. when we say always yes, maybe we are telling no first. And the gospel says, love your brother like yourself. Then we need to know, to remember that Jesus used to say, you should say yes meaning yes, and no means no. Because everything that goes beyond, it comes from the evil. It's immaterial. We don't know to say no. And that's a problem because we don't know ourselves. Another problem that may help us to develop depression is the trying to be perfect all the time. It's very bad. It's caused by our pride. Then we used to think, oh, I'm very good. I am an angel. And we are not angels yet. And we get frustrated because we create a standard that we cannot reach. And we get hurt because of that. Because we fail and say, oh, Jesus, I failed. It's a consequence of our pride. And the pride, the gospel, according to the Spiritism, tells us that is the father of all vicious. Is the source of many evils. That's why Jesus has fight against the pride as the principal obstacle to the progress of humankind. Because when we are pride, and all we are, we cannot see our imperfections. We see the others' imperfections, but we don't see us. And if we can see, we are not going to change ourselves. We need to see what is inside, to look at our shadow, like Jung used to say, everyone has a shadow. We cannot put in debaixo do tapete, under the carpet. We should look at our shadow and say, oh, try to understand, try to love our shadow. Then we're going to be a little more better at each day. Then it's very important that we know ourselves because of that, because we used to compare ourselves to the great saints, to the great men of humankind, like Chico Xavier, Francisco de Assis, Jesus Christ, and then we want to be perfect. But we have to be humility. Humble. You need to be humble. Because it's the lack of humility trying to compare ourselves to that people. And then we suffer a lot because of that. So Adenauer Novaes, psychologist of Bahia, used to say, there are many spiritists trying to be angels and forgetting they are human beings. We are human beings. We have to live like human beings. We're not angels yet. We need to realize that. Another problem that is very often is fear. When the woman is pregnant, it's very usual she worries about, to get worried about the future of the child, of her baby. If she will have money to pay a good education, to buy good clothes, and so on. And they become very worried about that. And the scientists used to say that women have a lot more of depression than men because of the hormones. The women have a very unbalanced hormone taxes de hormone. They have many problems with hormones. In the pregnancy, it's very often the hormones go high and go down, and it's very easy to become depressive on pregnancy. When we are young, we have a lot of unbalanced hormones too. And every month the women have a problem that make us men very upset. The tensão premenstrual em inglês também.
PMS.
PMS?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Premenstrual syndrome.
Premenstrual syndrome. Yes. PMS. I have a joke in Portuguese about this. I cannot tell you because I think you will not understand. It's different in Brazil. But in the Portuguese speaking, you're going to see how it is. And that's why women have more problems of depression than men too. There's another cause. It is not yet confirmed by the spirituality, because Kardec used to say, or when comes a new revelation, you should see if it comes from different mediums and different parts of the world, from different spirits, so it must be true. Because you cannot believe in one spirit's word only. Maybe it's only his opinion. But there are two German. They are from Germany. They psychologist and a physician, Thor Deflesen and Rutger Dorp. They wrote a book that became very famous in 1983. In Portuguese, the name is A Doença como Caminho. As the
illness as the way.
Yeah.
The illness as the way.
The illness as the way, disease as a way to disease as a way. It will be a translation. I don't know how it is in English. And they tell us that the most of our disease are our mind trying to tell us something. Our body speaking through the diseases. So they do a very deep study about that, and it's very nice to know this book. And we have three Spiritist speakers that say the same. That depression may be caused by agressividade reprimida. Repress of aggressiveness. You know, your anger, you repress your anger, may be a cause of depression too. We have Divaldo Franco telling us this. We have Alberto Almeida from Pará, Belém, one of the greatest speakers in Brazil too. And we have Francisco do Espírito Santo Neto, medium that writes the books of the Spirit Hamed. They used to tell us that when you repress your anger, you may become sick. So Alberto Almeida tells us that we have three options to our anger. We may fight back, which will never be the best solution. You must be quiet and try to fix it later. We used to repress the anger and become sick. Or we can canalizar a raiva. Channel our anger to good things. Because Alberto Almeida tells us that our anger is energy like any other. It's neutral. God did not give us the anger to hurt us. But it was very useful when we were in the antiquity. It was the anger that gave us power to react against the animals in the forest that came to hurt us. It was the anger that made us react to the invasion of another tribes when we are like Indians. So anger is just the self-preservation instinct. That's okay. But if you can take your anger and channel to good things. The Spirit Hamed used to say that the same energy of anger is the energy of garra, courage, determination, garra, determinação e coragem, garra, determinação, courage and determination. And Alberto Almeida used to say that we can channel our anger to the job, to work. He thinks that Francisco Cândido Xavier used it to channel his energy for the job. That's why he gave us 412 books. Because he didn't fight back. He always used his anger to the good, to the world. So if you know how to channel our anger, it will help us very much. Because when we repress our anger, we get sick. It's going to stay in some fragile point of our body. It will make us have ulcers, gastritis. Well, we may have infarto de miocárdio, stroke of the heart, no, heart stops, thrombosis, derrame, stroke too. So many diseases. It may come from repressing our anger. So the best solution is not to repress the anger, but to work it out. To try to speak it when you feel a little more bad. So the women, when they are with their husbands, when the husbands are very upset, they are discussing, she must be quiet. But in the next day or the second day, then we take him, husband, come here. You said that on that day, didn't you? I said, yeah. But I do not admit this anymore. I will not let you do this because of this and that and that and that. To put limits. You know? Learn to say no. To be strong, firm, like Jesus was. Jesus was very firm. Firm. Mm-hmm. Even when he was in front of the Pharisees, the doctors of the law, the priests of that age, the very powerful man, he didn't fear them. He was very strong. He said, you, hypocrites, you look like a grave, a white grave, white outside, but in the inner, you have very iniquidade, podridão e iniquidade. Podridão. You have a lot of trash and bad things inside of you. And you want to look like white and clean outside, but you are very dirty inside. He was very firm with that man, that very, very powerful. He was not. He didn't use to omit himself. He always said us what is correct, what is not. And then we need to know how to deal with our anger. So the woman should work out and talk to the husband. It's going to be the women revenge.
The next day.
Yeah, the next day is going to be the women revenge. It's going to be very important to them to put it off, to put it out. Because if you keep your anger, you'll become sick. So it's going to help us very much in depression. Other thing that is very usual in depression is become very anxious. Nowadays, the most of us, we become very anxious because we are always worrying about the things of the future. Or then we may be in the past. Remember the bad things we have done. Remorse. It's very bad for us. So the Spiritism used to say that depressive is somebody who is not at the present. He is on the future or in the past. He's not at the present. And it's very important we learn to live in the present. To have attention on the present. Focus on the present time. It is a Buddhist philosophy. They used to call it in Portuguese. In Portuguese is atenção plena. No, full attention to everything. It's a kind of meditation. It's being fully with full attention for everything. It's very important because we don't are in the present. Then my psychologist said to me, Neno, you need to learn to live at the present. You are worrying you very much. So when you're going to have a shower, have a shower. Feel the water going through your body. Use the shampoo, soap, sing. It's very good to have a shower. I don't know if it's because I'm from Ceará, it's very dry there, but I love taking showers. But we don't use to take showers. We are taking shower worried about the time, about the problems, the money, the kids, the job, the wife, the husband, and we are not present. Then said, when you're going through a meal, eat it with attention. Every meal is different. We should bless, we should thank God because of our meal every day. But we eat watching the TV, watching the tragedies on the news, and we are not present. That's why children are so happy, and we, when become adults, we are so sad, so miserable. Because children, they live exactly at the present. If you ask, if there was a child here, what should she be doing? Should we be playing? Should we be running? Should we doing everything? If you ask her, do you remember of your lição de casa? Homework that you have to deliver tomorrow at the school? Do you remember? They don't remember anything. Are you worried about the money that you're going to have to eat in that school? They are not worried about the money. Do you remember the tests you're going to make in school? Very hard tests. We make no idea of that. We are living strongly, very deep in the present life, the present time. But we forgot it. That's why Jesus has told us this passage, let the children come to me. People were bringing little children to Jesus to have him touch them, but disciples rebuked them. When Jesus saw this, he was indignant. He said to them, let the children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. I tell you the truth, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it. And he took the children in his arms, put his hands on them, and blessed them. It is in Mark 10, 13 to 16. He was telling us that we should look like children. Because if we don't look like the children, we will not be able to enter in the kingdom of heaven. We need to play more. We need to have exercise. We need to serve like Marcel does. That's why he has never had depression. Because we forget about this. We are only worrying. So my psychologist said, Neno, don't worry about the problems of the Monday. At Monday, you have the inspiration to solve them. You shall not be worried. Before the time. Yeah, that's true. And Jesus has told us to, I didn't mark this, but it's something like that he said, don't worry about the tomorrow. The tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has his own problems. So don't worry about tomorrow. He said, look at the birds, at the sky. They don't plant, they don't fill the stars, but God provides the food. Aren't you more valuable to God than birds? Look at the lilies of the nature. Lily of the nature. I tell you the truth that neither Solomon, in the very best times of them, he didn't dress like the lilies do dress. If God dresses the herb that lives on the ground, that tomorrow will be sent into fire, why wouldn't he dress you that are the beloved children of him, the beloved sons, all men of little faith, little faith. So Jesus did not want to tell us to be improvident. It does not mean that we should not have a healthy plan, health plan, or have some poupança, savings for the rainy days. He didn't say that, but he told us to not worry too much, because our life is going to pass, and when we come to the spiritual world, what did you do? I was worried all the time. I did nothing. I was just worried. Then I asked my psychologist. I was paying, so I asked a lot of hard questions to him.
Put him to work.
I said, my friend, what's the meaning of life to you? And he said, Neno, if somebody asked me that, I would answer that the meaning of life is feel the life pass, is to be present in every moment. So in the day we have problems, yeah, we always have problems. But if I am present in every time, when I come at home, for example, and see my child, my son, so eu vou me abaixar, I will get down and kiss my son. It's a treasure that we make no idea how that is important. It's when we come back home and we see our mommy, our daddy, we hold that sweet angel and give her a kiss. That angel that was on our side, on the bed, worrying about our health, our security, and to be present, to be full at that moment, you know. It's very important for us. So at the end of the day we had problems, but we have so many good things that, oh, my day was nice. My day was very nice. When Divaldo was traveling to Holland, he went to the airport and a friend came to pick him at the airport, put him in the car, and was driving with Divaldo to another city where he was going to speak at night. It was still the morning, it's a very short trip, just 1 hour. And they were in the car, then Divaldo said, hey, stop the car, stop the car. I said, why, Divaldo? What's the problem? Said, stop the car, please. He stopped the car. Divaldo has gone out, and they were in front of a sea of yellow roses. A very big plantation of yellow roses. Very beautiful. Then Divaldo goes into the roses field, and then he was in state of grace, state of grace. Then his spiritual mentor, Joanna de Angelis, appeared to him and said, Divaldo, the flowers, the roses are the God's signature at the creation. Then he was very happy. When he came back to the car, his friend was de joelhos com a mão na cabeça, with the hand on the head, crying, sitting on the sidewalk. And Divaldo said, what happened? Friend Divaldo, I work here. I live here since 10 years ago. For 10 years ago. I always do this travel. I always pass in front of the roads, and I never stopped to look at them. That's why we have depression. World is full of many wonderful things. There are many treasures outside. The birds, the sun, the sea of Ceará, my land, Ceará, Fortaleza, the smiles of the kids, so many wonderful things. But we only pay attention at the news, the tragedies that comes every day to us. That's why we are depressed. We only pay attention to the evil things. You only like the bad things. You don't like the good things. Who today has remembered about the flowers without seeing them? Raise your hand, please. That's why we all have depression. We don't remember the flowers. We don't remember the good things God gave to us. So it's very important to live in the present life. Jesus has given us another examples. 1 minute?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. It's blinking.
Is it?
Yeah.
So should we change them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make a little stop. Change the tape. Okay. Well, so let's go on. And I want to tell you there are a social cause that may help us to develop the depression. It's because the media, the TV, tell us that happiness, that you're only going to be happy if you are very rich, if you are young, gorgeous, if you are thin, if you have a wonderful wife, pretty wife, if you have a very nice car, a very nice house. And that's not true. I was very concerned about this because I'm from Ceará, from Fortaleza, and the people there are not very handsome. We have big heads, flat heads. I have no hair anymore. I said, how can I be happy? Don't I deserve to be happy too? Of course I deserve. Because it's not true. It's not real. The media tell us that we only can be happy this way, but it's not true. Who remembers here the Psalm 23, the first phrase of Psalm 23? Do you know? It's very common. God is my Lord. O Senhor é meu pastor. Nada me faltará.
Now we're missing.
How do you spell it? God is my Lord, or my shepherd. My shepherd. God is my shepherd. Nothing. I will miss nothing. Nothing I will miss. Something like that. God is my shepherd. Nothing I will miss.
I shall not want.
No,
Lack.
never lack.
Yeah.
If-
I should not lack anything. Em português, you say this: o Senhor é meu pastor, nada me faltará. And then when I used it to read this, I read that, but I didn't understand it correctly. Because I read, God is my shepherd. He's going to give me everything. Is that what is written there? No. God is my shepherd. It is there. Nothing. I'll be.
I will not lack anything.
I will not lack anything. There's a difference in this. It doesn't say that God will give us everything. No, it says that we will not be lack of anything. It's different.
Maybe what you need.
Yeah, it gives us what we need. So we are going to remember Confucius when he used to say that truly rich is not that one which has many treasures, much money. That's not the truly rich person. The truly rich is the one which que precisa de pouco para ser feliz.
And it's minimum to be happy.
Who needs minimal to be happy. This is the richest one. Because I know many millionaire people that only go to sleep if they have drugs. Because when we are rich, we spend a lot too, and we get much more worried about we have or not losing it. They have so stressed, so worried about we have. So money is going to bring us comfort, but not happiness. Happiness is an inner state, and it's a state of mind. So many people that are poor, very simple, may be more happy than us. The person more happy, the happiest person I know is Maria. Maria is a very simple woman, a 60 years lady, that she works on our institution, and she makes one salário mínimo, one minimum wage, and she's very happy. She sells cakes to us. She comes in the morning, 6 a.m. to do coffee and so in our institution, and she's always smiling. She's very happy. So when God really becomes our shepherd, when we deliver in His hand our lives, our future, when we believe in His justice, nothing is going to make us worry. We won't be lack of anything. That is the meaning of the Psalm 23. Quando o Senhor for meu pastor, nada me faltará. When I put in His hands my life, when we realize the question number 1 of the Spirit's book, when Kardec asked, what is God? And the Spirit's answer, God is the supreme intelligence of the universe. First cause of all things. He's the supreme intelligence. He knows exactly what we need. That's why sometimes we don't understand, because in the Gospel, Jesus says that, ask and we'll give it to you. Knock on the door and the door will be opened. What? Then people say, Nazareno, I asked God to win in the lottery and I never make it. Why doesn't God allow me? I will give half to the poor people, half of the money. And God did even so. Because God knows what is best for us. We are little children yet. If you ask your son what is happiness to him, to do every desire of him, what are they going to ask us? They are going to ask us to not eat more salads. They only want to eat chocolates,
Candies.
candies, all day long. They are going to ask us to not go to school anymore. They want to be playing all the time. They're going to ask us to not go to the shower, not have a bath anymore, because they don't like it.
They didn't have time.
They don't have time for that. For that. And are we going to allow this? No, because we know what is better to our kids. God is the same. God is not worried about our body, our material body. He's concerned about our spirit. He wants us the best for our spirit. So He gives us everything that we need to do a great development in our incarnation. We are born in the very best family for our spirit. We are born in the best body to learn better the lessons of life and so on. But keep asking, He gives us much. Keep asking. That's why we want to say that they are this social, because of the culture too. They tell us that we cannot be happy if we don't have money, we are not fancy, are not gorgeous. Nazareno will never be happy. Thanks God, isn't it this way? Chico Xavier was very happy. He had a lot of suffering, yes. To become a saint for the Catholic. Because the Catholic saints, they have to be miserable, very poor, and have to suffer a lot to become saints. And the mission of Chico Xavier was that he accepted to suffer, to give us the example, and to become very sympathetic to the Catholic people. That's why the Catholics love the Spiritists, admires the Spiritists because of the example of Chico Xavier. Because he became a saint, in quotes, to the Catholics. That's why the Spiritism has grown up so much in Brazil. Many people doesn't understand, Nazareno, why did the Spiritism only grow up so much in Brazil? Why didn't it grow in France, where it was born? Allan Kardec was from France. Then I say, we have here in Brazil Adolfo Bezerra de Menezes Cavalcante. And we had Francisco Cândido Xavier, with the help of Adolfo Bezerra de Menezes Cavalcante, in spirit. We have the Spirit Emmanuel. We have Divaldo Pereira Franco, Zé Raul Teixeira. We have wonderful speakers. And Chico Xavier has been the greatest divulgador. The greatest broadcaster, or the person that disseminates the Spiritism because of his example. Because Francisco de Assis used to say that the words may help us, may convince us, but the example, it takes the crowd, arrebata as multidões. No? Example speaks so much more high than the words, so much more loud than the words. That's why Spiritism has grown up so much in Brazil. Then we had all these causes, and I want to tell you that the study of the Spiritism is a very good help for depression. When the people used to ask Chico Xavier, what is the best formula to go through a spiritual obsession problem, he was very categorical. He said, the first, inadiável. The first...
No, you don't postpone. You should not postpone.
The most important, the most principal, the most immediate formula is the study of the books of Allan Kardec. Because when we are studying, we develop our faith, our comprehension about the divine laws. We understand everything more, better, and we become better We do the moral reform, the change, the intimate changes that we need to do. And Divaldo Pereira Franco, which is a medium, he can see the spirits. He says that in the study classes, he sees the spirits doing great jobs, great healings, bad spirits being helped in these study groups. It happens it really helps these obsessions in the study classes. So it's very important to study. So the Spirit Center is going to be a very good place to treat depression too. Because we have the past, the healing, we have the study, we have the charity job. Because the best formula to go through the depression is the work on good. Work on good? Yeah, work on good. You tell me, please. Because we forget our problems become very little. And Allan Kardec, he never used the word karma at the books of Spiritism. Because he knew that this word karma had a bad feeling for the people. The people always think of karma as suffering. And it's not true. Karma means action in Sanskrit. And they believe in action and reaction. That's why the karma is a good word. But Kardec was concerned about, we think that if we have done the bad in the past, we have to go through to the bad things today. And that's not true. He wanted to tell us that our karma is dynamic. It's dynamic. The good that we did today changes our karma. That's why he preferred to use the expression law of cause and effect. Law of cause and effect. He didn't use karma. Because the good that we do here, says the Spiritism, is our lawyer in everywhere in the spiritual world. The good that we do. It's the love that deletes the lot of sins that we may have done. It's not suffering, but the good that we do. It's planting flowers instead of espinhos.
Instead of thorns.
Instead of thorns. If you plant flowers, you're going to collect to sow flowers. That's why we need to start to do good things. Because that is the best problem. Then people say, no, Nazareno, I am so atrasado, delayed, I'm not spiritual developed, I don't know do anything. Then my spiritual mentor, Samuel, he told me, Nazareno, tell that people that who are delayed are the ones that need to work more. So they fix the delayiness. Okay? So we have to work.
No excuse.
No excuse. And even in Brazil we have a person which is dead now, but was very famous. He's a very bad man. Lampião. He was a pistoleiro. Like a cowboy, very bad, killed a lot of people. But the medium, Marcel Mariano, the vice president of the Federação Espírita da Bahia, he told us in a seminary that even Lampião, that bad guy from the past, was helping in the spiritual world. Then I said, oh, how was that? Is Lampião speaking to the people in the spiritual world? Is he helping people? No, I didn't say that. But there was problem, Bezerra de Menezes wanted to help a spirit which was in a very deep region, very bad region. And Bezerra de Menezes tried to speak to the spirit, but he couldn't see Bezerra de Menezes because it was so low vibration, pulse, that he could not see or hear Bezerra de Menezes. Then Lampião, the famous cowboy from Brazil, he heard about it and said, Dr. Bezerra, let it to me. And went there, in that deep region on the spiritual world. The spirit saw him because they are the same vibration standard. He took his big knife out and told the spirit, Dr. Bezerra is calling you. Você quer vir por bem ou por mal? Do you want to come for the bad or for the good? With the knife, a sword in the hand. The spirit went running to the arms of Bezerra de Menezes. So, if even Lampião is helping the spiritual world, why can't we help too? Of course we can, and we should, and we need. And then we may think, oh, Nazareno, but we're not going to change the world. That's true. But we make the difference in the world around us. We'll be the difference in our family, in our job, in our spirit center, in our neighborhood. In that people that we go to visit them, to help them, will become the angel that comes with the hope, with the faith to that people. Once, Chico Xavier was in Uberaba, the city, and there was a very big row of people, 500 people, a very big crowd, that were there to receive some bread and some coins, some money that Chico was giving to them. The donations of the Spirit Center, Chico was sharing to the people, to the poor people. And there's a very big hall of people. And then a reporter from a very big TV, he came to Chico Xavier and asked, Mr. Chico, do you think you are going to solve the problem of the world, the hungriness problem, giving some bread and some coins and some money? And Chico looked at him and said, you are right. You're not going to solve the hungriness problem of the world. But imagine a house on fire. Incêndio.
House on fire.
While the firemen, until before they come, is not allowed to me. Don't I have permission to throw some baldes de água? Bucket of water on the fire? Yes, it's permitted. It's necessary. So we need to follow it up.
Yeah.
Throw our bags of water, our bags of love, of charity, of hope to everyone. Spirit Samuel, my friend, who tells Nazareno, you spiritists should be like roses, colorful, perfumed, happy, bringing happiness, faith, love, and joy to everyone, to everywhere you go. Because you have the Consolador in you.
The Consoler.
The promised Consoler, which is the Spiritism. That's why, my friends, that I want to tell you that the best treatment for depression is love. That's why we're talking about the depression and therapy of love. Because love is going to change everything. And I want to ask you, why are you on earth Do you know why you are on earth? What's the purposes? When I was young, I went to a Spiritism center. I had read already the Allan Kardec's book. And then I went inside the TE, Spiritual Treatment, ST, which is just the study of the gospel in groups. With at the end we have basis, healing, and fluidified water. And while I was there, the speaker asked me, Nazareno, do you know why you are here on earth? Then I was very proud because I read it. Oh, we are here because we are here to improve ourselves. We are here to develop spirituality. We are here to pay our debts of the past, to suffer because we have done bad things in the past. Because this is a mundo de provas e expiações, a proofs and expiation world. But it's for now because it's going to become a regeneration world. We are here, some are here in missions too, their own missions. And I was very proud to say that. Then he looked at me and said, it's nothing like that. What? But I saw this in Allan Kardec's book. Said, everything you said is correct. It's not wrong. Kardec is right. But all this is only necessary because we didn't yet, the principal objective, the principal goal of our life. Which is this? When you say, to learn to love. We're here to learn to love. Who was the maximal authority in earth that you know? Jesus of Nazareth. What was his commandment? The only commandment that have all the others together, everything is only one commandment. That it contains all the writings, all the scriptures. Love God beyond everything. Beyond? Among everything. Above. Love God above everything. And love your neighbor as you love yourself. He told us to love. We are only suffering because we still didn't learn to love. We are only paying debts from the past. Because in the past, we didn't love as we should love. Should have loved. And only with love we are going to develop ourselves. So our mission here on earth is to learn to love. That's why I like to count a little story. There was a girl that married a young man, and when she went to live on his house, it was on the Orient, in Japan, that places. But she didn't know that living with them, they were going to carry, he brought to her mother-in-law. And the mother-in-law was terrible. It was a very hard woman, very difficult to have living together. I want to make a parenthesis here. Do you know why Peter has denied Jesus three times? Do you know that Peter has denied that he was not a disciple 3 times? And then my speaker told me, Nazareno, do you know why people denied Jesus 3 times? I said, no, I don't know what he was. He was angry with Jesus. I said, why? Because Jesus has cured his mother-in-law, which was a fever. It's just a joke. But the mother-in-law sometimes become hard. And that was a very big problem. That woman's very upset. And she said, oh, or I kill myself, or I kill this woman. I cannot live with her anymore. I have to do something. Then she was desperate. She went to a store and said, I want to buy poison. So why do you want to buy poison? The man said. Then she told the story. Oh, they were going to do, that's good. One woman like that, you are going to do a good thing for the humanity.
Save it for the
Yes, take this poison. Then she gave her a little bottle of poison, and told her, you put 3 drops in her coffee. Okay, every day. But there's one thing. Said what? Ela não pode desconfiar.
She cannot figure out.
She cannot figure out any way. So what am I supposed to do? You have to treat her very well. Treat her like your mommy, because if she figure out, the poison is not going to work. Said, what? That woman? No, but se for para me livrar dela, if I need to do this to
Get rid of her.
huh?
Get rid of her. Get rid of her.
Get rid of her, I will do it. Then she went. 1-2 months later, she came back to the store where she bought the poison and said, my sir, please help me. Why? I want an antidote for the poison that you sold me. I said, why is that? Wasn't it for your mother-in-law, that terrible woman? That it's good that she be dead, that she dies. That is so good. I said, no, I don't know what happened. As I started to treat her nice, then I took her to go shopping. Mothers-in-laws love shopping. Then I tried to talk to her, to speak. Then I took her to the park. Then I took her to the country. Then I took her to the beaches of Ceará. She became my best friend. I cannot let her go. Please help me. Then he said, don't worry. What I sold you was not a poison. They were only vitamins for your mother-in-law. Because I knew that with the vitamin of love, you will change her. You are going to conquer her heart. Because love, the Spirit says, this is the most powerful energy of all the universe. So I want you to never give up loving, even if the person is hard. The Spirit says that love is the power of coesão. In the inner the atoms, the power of cohesion. Yes? Attraction, power is love, the Spirit says. It's the love that maintains the harmony of the galaxy, the stars and the planets. It's the power of God, of love's God, of God's love. So, never give up loving. Love, no matter what. That is going to be the best medicine for depression. And I hope Jesus help us to go through this night, the dark night of depression, that we become like Francisco de Assis, discovering what is our mission, our meaning of our lives, what we need to do to become more happy. God bless us all. Thank you.
Deixa aberto o microfone.
Fazer pressa? Até eu vou dar minha pergunta. Any questions? Wanna do some questions? I live very far from here.
It's your chance.
It's your chance. It's very far from here.
Now or never.
Now or never. I want to, we have brought some CDs, and in a matter of fact, we don't speak about depression in 1 hour only. We used to make a seminar about depression with 4 hours of speaking, and I left the CDs here. We have 4 lectures. The first is that we have done this, depression, causes, consequences, and the therapy of gospel, or the therapy of Jesus, or the therapy of love. The second one is depression and auto-forgiveness,
Self-forgiveness.
self-forgiveness, happiness without guilt. It's very good because we bring a lot of guilt from the Middle Age, the reincarnations that we have done, of that guilty culture, the sin culture that we have been used to be on. And even in Spiritism, we bring a lot of guilty feelings. It's very bad for depression. It's very easy to the Spiritism influences us. The third one is the depression and the spiritual obsession, and the importance of the auto-knowledgement, self-knowledgement. And the last one is depression, it's apego.
Detachment.
Yeah, depression is detachment, the importance of working on the good, doing good things, on goodness. So, I hope you have enjoyed it. No, any questions anymore? Do you want to know what was my spiritual problem of depression? Yes, very interesting. I had a lot of depression. It was very deep, it was very strong. And I went to look for help in the Spiritist Center. Then I talked to Seu Monteiro, which was the president, and he said, Nazareno, did you do TE, the spiritual treatment? I said, no, I have never done. So go for it. Go do the study of the gospel together with passes and fluidified water. And that's biggest problems, that very hard depression problems, we going to take to this obsession meeting. Then we're going to help them. Then in the next week, he told me, Nazareno, I did your meeting. I was the doctrinator of your meeting of this obsession. Mm-hmm. And your problem was a young lady from the past. Como é amante em inglês?
Lover.
She was your lover. You were married, and she was your lover in the last life. And you hurt her very much. So she was very angry with you, and she wanted to take you to depression, because she wants you to suicide yourself. Because she suicided by you because of you in the last life. She wanted to have many children, and you didn't want. She wanted, and they say that you even used to hit her. You were very hard to her. And one day she came to you pregnant, and instead of being happy, you hit her again. She lost her baby, and desperately she committed suicide. Then the Spirit said in the meeting that she takes you while you are sleeping. We disconnect from the body. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes we go to spiritual regions, spiritual places. Then she takes you to spiritual regions, erotic regions, and you spend the whole night doing sex, making sex. At that time, she vaporizes, ela suga, she vaporizes, sucks your energy, your vital energy, and then you feel depression. Then I said, Mr. Monteiro, that's very strange. It makes very sense, because normally I don't remember my dreams, but when I do, they are erotic dreams. And I probably was strange. And the very other important thing, my depression was only at the morning. At the afternoon, I never have depression. At night I was always fine. My depression was all on the morning. It made me feel very guilty because is that laziness? Is that's why I don't want to go to job? But it was not. It was because in the night my energy was sucked by her, and then she was doctrinated. Mr. Monteiro talked to her a lot of times, 4 times, and she forgave me. One day in Grupo Espírita Paulo Estevam, I was in a meeting of this obsession. I was the doctrinator. Then one medium incorporated her, and then she talked to me. Yeah, she talked to me. Then she was crying. She was asking forgiveness. Then I was down on my knees and I said, I want to ask you to apologize. I want to. I am the one who needs forgiveness, not you. Because she said that he have done much more evil, that she was not letting me have good relationships. She always put me away from the ladies, from the girls. You know, she was always making troubles. I had many problems with women. I don't know if you do that. And she even told us that she was with another spiritist. She made us broke, made our business break down. In Recife, where we had a company, we have a store. She helped us to break down, to broke. Then she asked me forgiveness, and we both forgave ourselves. It was a very touching moment. All the times I was in a lecture, and the coordinator, the coordinator of the meeting, of the lecture, while I was speaking about depression, she, which is medium, she said, Nazareno, the mentor of that lady brought me a vision. She is now, as a child, she is in the spiritual world as a kid. She's playing as a kid. She's being prepared to reincarnate as your daughter. And in this next life of her, I will have the chance to give the love that I denied to her. Then she will be that girl that's very close to the father, you know, the little date, the dad's girl, you know, which is jealous about her mommy sometimes because she loves me very much. And we see that in the meetings of this obsession, that the spirits that are more angry with us, with the person, normally they are still in love. They have been rejected, they have been betrayed. The hate is only all love which is sick. Angerness is only sick love. And then I was very glad because I have the opportunity of giving her the love that I denied to her. So we should not know about what we've done in the past, because it does a lot of guilty feelings. I had a lot when I know that she has committed suicide because of mine. And that in the lecture number 2 about self-forgiveness, I talk a lot about that. Because the Spirit somehow had helped me a lot. They said, Nazareno, don't feel so guilty. Because God is just. As just, He does not allow injustice in earth. That's why José Raul Teixeira used to say that in this planet there are many injustices, but there are no injustiçados. There are no innocent people that have been suffering injustice. They are innocent. They are not innocent, receiving any problem. Because God is fair, God is just. Then he said to me, if she did not commit side to you, maybe she would commit if she was dating someone else, because she had a tendency, a problem, an emotive problem. She was there are some people. I met a girl in this life that was just like that. She was a wonderful girlfriend. When we broke up, she became mad. She was very, very angry of me, and she tried to kill herself twice. Thanks God, this time it was okay. Now she's married, had a baby a few days ago. It's very good. Then Mr. Samuel, the Spirit said, if it was not you, she would commit suicide, perhaps with somebody else. Because we attract the experiences that we need to learn. So don't feel guilty. You are responsible, but not guilty. Forget about it. Let the past away, and nothing of remorse, but work on good. Do the good, and we will solve all our karma. We're going to fix all our problems of the past. Seeding, planting love, inevitability, inevitavelmente. Inevitably, you are going to collect, to solve love, flowers, and love. So I want to thank you for the opportunity of being with you. And